We'll start. I'm just looking at my screen. Ms. Bostic, you're up.
Good evening and welcome. I am Tawana Bostic. I serve as the Director of Student Support with my primary responsibilities being driving recruitment, supporting retention, and supporting our student support efforts along with employment services and attendance. So welcome. I'm happy to have you.
Ms. Cuesta.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Santana Cuesta. I am the Communications and Marketing Manager for CC Prep. I manage the school's publications, collateral, website, and social media to help get our story into the community. So welcome.
Dr. Henry. You're on mute, sir.
Good evening again. Wallace Henry, I'm Director of Academics and Training. So I am responsible for the CTE pathways, GED pathways, our interventionists, and our assessment coordinators. So that is my wheelhouse.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. Jones, can you send me the agenda on my board book? It doesn't seem to be functioning. Ms. Robinson.
Hello, my name is Andrea Robinson. I'm the Executive Assistant to the CEO and CAO, and welcome.
Mr. Garcia.
Hello, I'm Julian Garcia, Business Manager. Sorry, I don't have the camera on, but I'm still driving. The commute today was 2 hours. But I manage all the finance and operations of the school.
Did you have to go up to 95, Julian?
It was all shut down, so I had to go all the way to Virginia to actually take 15. So it was a mess, but
wow.
We made it.
Wow. Ms. Spinner.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Connie Spinner, and I serve as the Chief Advocacy Officer. And I do a lot of the outreach as well as history development and a number of issues, not the least of which starting in July will be accreditation and preparation for 10-year review. I am the founding director of Community College Preparatory Academy.
All hail the Queen. I'm not sure who Waldo Ford is. Is that a new staff person possibly?
Waldo.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Waldo Ford. I'm just interested resident and just interested in finding out the direction and some of the issues facing Community Preparatory Academy.
Excellent. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Dr. Lodi.
Good evening, everyone. Jason Lodi, Chief Executive Officer at CC Prep, and I'm excited to welcome our new board members to our open board meeting and look forward to a conversation this evening. Good to see you all again. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's call this board meeting to order at 6:35. It is June 23rd, 2021, and welcome to our open board meeting of the Community College Preparatory Academy. Thank you guys for all being here. Do we have a quorum, Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Thank you. And we've had your board booklet package uploaded. Everyone has had a chance to review the agenda. And is there a motion for the agenda?
So moved.
It has been moved by Ms. Ashley Mitchell. Is there a second?
A second.
Great, properly seconded, dual second by our two new board members. And we will have ready for our vote. Indicate by saying aye. Mr. Ariel Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Darrell Gaston.
Aye.
Mr. Christopher Early.
Aye.
Mr. Lavon Washington.
Aye.
Miss Ashley Mitchell.
Aye.
And Miss Javonda Warren.
Aye.
Are there any in opposition? Great, it's been unanimous to approve the agenda. Has everyone had an opportunity to review your May 2021 minutes? And if so, it's been uploaded to Board Bookit. I'll accept your motion, please.
Motion.
I'm sorry, I missed somebody.
It was me, so moved.
It's been moved by Ms. Ashley Mitchell. Is there a second for the approval of the minutes as presented in Board Bookit?
I second.
Seconded by Ms. Daria Williams. All in favor? Going down the list, Daria Williams,
Aye.
Darrell Gaston,
Aye.
Christopher Early,
Aye.
Ashley Mitchell,
Aye.
Levon Washington,
Aye.
and Javonda Warren.
Aye.
We'll pause now for an opportunity for any public comments. We've been joined by Mr. Waldo Ford. Mr. Ford, would you have anything to add to our agenda for today?
No, just interested in understanding, learning more about your organization.
Sounds great. We welcome you to our organization's meeting and happy to have you. Is there any comments from our staff or our leadership team? Hearing none.
None from me.
You say none, or you said yes, Ms. Robinson?
I said none from me.
Great, thank you. We'll move to our committee reports and we'll begin with our Finance Committee report, Mr. Early.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'll be financially, the organization is in solid shape, as was reflected in the report. We have a solid cash position. I know that we're continuing moving forward with the planning for the new school building. So being able to maintain the cash position for the cash needs we'll need for that endeavor is a crucial piece of maintenance, financial maintenance. Also, I missed the staff bonuses review document. I apologize. That's on me. I had a full day today. So Monica, if we wanted to vote on that today, I would ask your guidance on that piece, as I'm not prepared to speak to that specific item on the agenda today. That stated, I do feel good about the fact that we're able to for purposes of the school. We signed off on the resolution. I think supporting local business in that endeavor is always a good thing, and I feel like the services that'll be provided will be good, high quality services for the school going forward. So with that, I'll end, and I'll take direction from you, Chairwoman Monica, as it relates to the staff bonuses piece.
Great. Jones, do you have the finance report available to pull up, please?
Yes.
We'll go through those slides quickly, and while she's pulling that up, I'll talk about the staff bonuses. In our approved budget for the year, there was $50,000 allocated for staff bonuses. And Dr. Lodi has made a recommendation that basically identifies 3 tiers of staff. The first tier are those super achievers by unit. The second tier, and Dr. Lodi, if I say the wrong word, please correct me, super achievers, achievers, and average achievers. Base.
And
We use the term met.
Met.
Met expectation, yes.
Met expectations. And the suggestion, there are 3 different tiers. And we basically looked at how to allocate the 50K over those 3 tiers of bonuses. The board has reviewed that bonus structure and the votes have been recorded in Board Bookit, but for the purposes of this conversation, we will have our voice vote as dictated by our Open Meetings Act. Is there a motion?
A motion to accept.
It has been moved by Ms. Daria Williams. to approve the staff bonus structure as recommended by our CEO, Dr. Lodi. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Levan Washington. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Ms. Williams,
Aye.
Mr. Gaston,
Aye.
Mr. Early,
Aye.
Mr. Mitchell,
There is no Mr. Mitchell, but Miss Mitchell.
Miss Mitchell, I'm sorry, Miss Mitchell,
Yep.
Mr. Washington,
Um,
and Ms.
Nay.
Ms. Warren.
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Mitchell, did you have a question?
I voted nay. I didn't have a question though.
Got it. Oh, I'm sorry. So that I don't count. There's how many ayes and how many nays? You're on mute, Ms. Jones.
5-1 without yours.
Yep, so the vote carries 5-1, 5 in favor of the bonus structure being approved. Thank you for that. And the financials are now on the screen. This presentation is prepared in conjunction with our Director of Operations, Julian Garcia, and Ed Ops, our external accounting firm. The executive summary, as Mr. Early has indicated, is a strong forecast through May 21, strong net income, strong cash position, and we've met all of our key performance indicators. As of May 21, our forecast projects a year-end cash position of 6.5 million, which equates to about 364 days of cash. Next slide, please. This KPI chart tracks our progress compared to the Charter Authority's benchmarks. The Charter Authority requires 60 days of cash, and we're at 364. Our 20.2% gross margin is about $721,000 above budget. And our forecasted FAR score would be 100 as of May 31st. Next slide. This is another graphic that shows our capital and our cash. We looked at how we maintain a minimum, although the Charter Authority only requires 60 days of cash. The board has approved that we would go no lower than 150 days of cash. And we still have a $3.9 million above that limit. With that additional funding, we feel very comfortable that we'll be able to contribute fully to the FF&E requirements for our new building. Next slide. This continues our KPI report. You'll see that we meet all of our key performance indicators, and this FAR score would rank us at a tier 1 school from a financial perspective. Next. This is a chart of our cash flow from our actual budget, our department budget, the percent of remaining of the budget left to be spent, and then the percentage of budget in each unit. You'll find how in the bottom chart, how our budget compares to our budget metrics as established by the board at the beginning of the year. And you'll find that it looks very off in the A&T. And what we found in our budgeting process last year, there were items that were bundled with A&T that really should be spread over the other 2 units. So that 60% is really not very accurate as far as how we split over the units. This year, Mr. Garcia has done a yeoman's job in making sure that the budget line items align appropriately, and we expect fully to meet the board's budget metrics for next year. So thank you, Mr. Garcia, for that. Next slide. Just a kind of summary forecast. You'll find that there's a variance of a negative 282K in revenue. That is really about a timing issue, not an actual cash issue from source funds that will come in the wrong fiscal year or late in the fiscal year. We are $1 million ahead of expenses, and that forecast is around discretionary expenses that have been right-sized to align with the expected spending for the remainder of the year. Our net income, we're 721 ahead of budget, and our cash flow adjustment is really about accounting for the purchase of computers in September and October. If you can imagine, all of our equipment due to COVID responses, we're heavily virtual this year, and we front loaded those expenses, and they actually get allocated over the entire year. So that will adjust itself by year end, and then a net change in cash of 565. Next slide. This just tracks our actual versus our forecast. And as we said, we're $565,000 ahead of our cash projection. Next slide. Other revenue. Julian, help me on this slide, Julian.
This one actually reflects the DC Hope revenue. So that's actually everything that we receive for PPE and all the help that we actually give to the community and the different workshops that actually we provide to the community.
Thank you. I've forgotten about the Hope grant, as Julian said, was a grant given to community-based organizations to distribute PPE early in the COVID response from the city. Next slide. Site planning, we proposed 300K at the beginning of this budget, and as of the end of May, we're at 296. So we're right within budget for what we expected to spend this first year in our site planning. Next slide. Oh, great. And that's completed. Are there questions regarding our financial report for the month? Great. There is no governance and compliance report out for this month. And then our development fundraising committee report, Ms. Spinner leads this staff subcommittee, and she did a detailed report on where we are as far as fundraising this year. As you guys know, we had a very aggressive fundraising goal for this year, and it was our first year attacking significant fundraising. For the first 6 years of our operation, our focus was on how we could live within our means and not spend over and above, and we've done that. So this year, we turned our attention to how to develop a fundraising plan that allowed us to diversify our funding streams and provide some funding for our new facility. And we think we've laid a good foundation to move in that direction next year. We will be hiring a new development, I think it's called development manager. Lodi, is that the right type? Director? I don't know. Fundraising person.
Grant writer.
Grant writer. Grant writer who will be responsible for that effort starting July 1st. And Ms. Spinner will go back to her regular special skill of being our chief advocacy officer and making sure that she raises the profile of the school in general. New business board retreat. The board has presented each of its blackout dates, and Ms. Jones has reviewed the blackout dates and has suggested August 12th through the 15th. I'll entertain a motion for that date for the board retreat with the focus on strategic plan, policy review, and KPI goal setting for this school year. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Darrell Gaston. Is there a second?
Can I get that date again?
Second.
August 12th through the 15th. Is seconded by Ms. Ashley Mitchell. We'll have a vote for all in favor. Indicate by saying aye. Ms. Williams. Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Gaston,
Aye.
Ms. Mitchell,
Aye.
Mr. Washington,
Aye.
Ms. Warren.
Aye.
It's been passed unanimously. Are there any nays? It's passed unanimously. The Leadership Board Retreat is an opportunity for the board to interact with our leadership team. And this year will be different in that we've decided to move it. It normally happens in late summer, early fall. But due to the nature of our semesters and our system this year, we think it better fits for staff in the spring. So the dates proposed are March 10th through the 13th of 22. Is there a motion to approve those dates?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Mitchell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gaston. Are there any questions? All in favor, Ms. Williams,
Aye.
Mr. Early,
Aye.
Mr. Gaston,
Aye.
Ms. Mitchell,
Aye.
Mr. Washington,
Aye.
Ms. Warren.
Aye.
They're all in favor of that. And we have no old business on our agenda. Are there any announcements? Any burning topics from either of our unit directors that you'd like to share with the board?
I don't have a burning topic, but I would just like to say that it is a exhaustingly excited feeling to have come to 5 days left in the school year, as we came into many, many challenges navigating this virtual landscape. And we are going into the 21-22 school year with many lessons learned, a lot of new and innovative approaches that we're excited to implement. And I just want to celebrate the leadership team at CC Prep that we made it through this year.
Absolutely. It's been a year that I hope we don't have to experience ever again. I said earlier today that a pandemic is once in 100 years for us. And we've been lucky enough to see a day when the entire world has shut down. And the impact it has had on our students and our leadership team and our staff to make sure that we've remained resilient through this year is to be commended. We recognize that this board has really pushed you guys to perform in ways that were unprecedented under some really excruciating terms and conditions. So we thank you for your work and for your patience and your persistence in getting us through it. So thank you very, very much. If there is nothing else.
Second that celebration.
Celebration.
No, I said I second that celebration. We didn't take a vote on it.
We didn't take a vote on it. We excellent. Is there anything else anyone would like to share? Dr. Lodi, I can't get you off the phone as you're saying something as our fearless leader.
Well, I had a note to mention what Dr. Henry said, and he took the sail and poof, took the wind right out of my sail there. I had the note and I had the whole thing. It was, thank you, Dr. Henry, for doing that. See, that's one of the great things about this leadership team is we are of like mind,
Right,
and we finish each other's sentences.
Excellent.
And so, yes, no, but one of the exciting things about CC Prep that not a lot of people really know about is that we're a year-round school. We're a year-round program. And so we're finishing the month of June and going into the summer. And we have until August 31st to capture student success for report out for accountability purposes. So we are going into the summer, pandemic or not, full steam ahead. And we are focusing on bringing those students who are close to the finish line over the finish line, right to the very end, the very last minute. So as Dr. Henry said, it is exhausting because we don't stop. We don't have a summer vacation or summer break. The programming might look and sound a little differently, but everyone's moving at 100%. And I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited to have the board's support and presence in our upcoming activities and programming. We have staff orientation beginning the week of July 6th. And I've shared the outline of the day's events with Ms. Ray earlier today. And I would love to see some time where the board members at your own convenience, come by, introduce yourselves to our entire team who will be in one place at one time in over a year. We haven't been in one place at one time since we tried last July. And then everything, as we know in the world, got a little more complex, and that dispersed us. But we're back, and we want to encourage everyone to join us when they can as part of our team to usher in a new post-pandemic experience at CC Prep. I'm grateful to be part of the team, and I'm grateful to have a team that's present here tonight that really does amazing work. And I appreciate the board's support in recognizing not just members of the leadership team, but also our staff who are super achievers, and part of our team to really push through the difficulty of the pandemic, the hurdles that came to us seen and unseen. And we're going to emerge better and stronger. So thank you.
I think I'm going to ask Dr. Lodi asked me, is there anything you're going to ask me for the board meeting tonight? I want to be prepared. And I said, nope, there's nothing at all. But I do want him to share a little bit about some of the significant accomplishments that the school has experienced. Like today, we talked about attendance, for instance. And although we watch our parents, our adults struggle to make it through pandemic when, doing homeschool while being in school themselves, they sometimes feel like we're not doing enough, but I think we should commend on some of the things that we're really achieving to make improvements. So Dr. Lowe, just a couple examples of the great work that your team is doing.
So thank you for that question. As I've been working with the Public Charter School Board to provide insight in the accountability framework for adult schools, one of the things that I've been suggesting has been looking at the way we're able to celebrate the small victories of the student journey, and not just those finish line successes, like the end of the journey that move the needle for school accountability. Because for adult learners especially, there are far more smaller successes that are more regular than a 2-year journey that finishes with a certification or a GED. And so when we look at the achievement numbers that we have, from attendance to progress to engagement, I think what we sometimes don't do is put that within the context that we're seeing those numbers. In any ordinary environment, the numbers that we are producing at CC Prep right here and right now are not amazing, right? There would be scores that we would look at and have to really strategize and intentionally work to move. But when you see that currently CC Prep is in some ways operating above how we have operated pre-pandemic, that is a celebration. The fact that we have, an attendance rate in an environment where everybody is home, including our teachers for most of the year, and the students have to juggle many more priorities than they may have had in the past, and to maintain the attendance average in the midst of a pandemic is something to be celebrated. And I'm excited that we were able to not only maintain, but in some areas of progress, improve during this unique context when other schools, adult charters and others, K-12 schools, are seeing declining numbers and challenges that are very difficult to address. So attendance, our attendance is where it was this time in the last 2 years, right? And 2 years ago, our attendance was lower than it is right now. And to celebrate the fact that in the midst of a pandemic, our teachers, our success specialists, our administrators are putting opportunities in place to keep students engaged in the very unique ways we need to do that through this temporary challenge of a pandemic. Looking at our student journey, we are certifying students, and we are bringing students to the finish line. We're not bringing them in huge, in huge waves, but we're bringing students to the finish line. Some adult charters have stopped programming, and they're just working on maintaining engagement and just checking in on students, and they've stopped programming. We pushed through, and we have, in all of our program pathways, success, and we have certifications and credentials that our students didn't have at the start of this. That is to be celebrated. Like I said, are we in waves where we're moving the needle on an accountability framework? No, but we're doing more than other schools are doing, and that is to be celebrated. And that takes a lot of work and a lot of effort that the teachers and the success specialists and the administrators are moving forward. And then morale, I'll end on that. To do all of this and to have a staff satisfaction rate and a student satisfaction rate as high as it is a testament to the fact that we have team members who love CC Prep, who are mission driven, who are rooted in the vision and are doing what they need to do and are satisfied in the type of environment that our leadership team is setting up for them to feel successful in the work that they're doing. And that is to be celebrated. So those are, I would just say, 3 things to really put into context that from a tier rating perspective or a star score that the OSSE or the PCSB might put out, it won't capture the successes that really do need to be celebrated, because in the midst of all these trials and challenges, if we don't celebrate them, then there's nothing that really sustains the difficult work that we're doing. And that's why moving into the new accountability framework, I do believe that there are going to be opportunities for school-based assessments, soft skill growth, digital literacy growth, a lot of things that currently aren't measured and captured that speak to the student journey that is going to help elevate the perception of success and also encourage the persistence that we need our students to have to get to that finish line and beyond. And so I'm excited about that.
Thank you, Dr. Lodi, for being prepared. And I said, don't be prepared. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from anyone on the call? If there are none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
And no second is required. Have a good night, guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you. Have a great
Bye.
evening.
See you later. Bye.
Thank you for allowing me to attend.
Thanks for attending.